are from fishing families, and as I look back over my 25 years in the mission, it has been really a tremendous experience and adventure, which started really when I was at the school in Simmions. This year I celebrate 25 years in the work of the mission, and the 25 years has really have been very memorable chapters in my life, which starts really being born and brought up in a fishing community and in a fishing family. It usually was the dream of every young boy in a fishing family to leave school as quickly as he can and go to the fishing. And of course I was no different from anybody else, and at the age of 14 and a half I left school and went away to sea. I still have the picture of my mother with tears in her eyes saying her farewells to me as I went away to the west coast. I was a chronic asthmatic when I was a child, and the week that I went away to sea, with the clear, fresh air at sea, my asthma left me and has never returned. So in that respect, it was the first step of a great adventure and full health and strength. I went away to sea on a boat called the Olive Leaf, which was a family boat. Went away to Ireland and used to do trips of 4 to 5 weeks. And the first trip was the longest 5 weeks of my life. We were at the sea net fishing, and at that time Lossiemouth was the biggest sea net fleet, had the biggest sea net fleet in the country. There would have been about 150 boats, usually between the sizes of 60 and 70 foot. We fished usually Monday to Friday. At that time Sunday was taboo, we never fished on Sunday, and that went on for quite a while because the majority of people were fishing people, certainly were very God-fearing people, and the weekend to be with the family and the Sunday devoted to worship was really important in their lives. As the time went on, I, like all other young fishermen, went to Robert Gordon's college and got my fishing tickets. And it was really the thirst for studying that put the thought in my mind to go into the fisherman's mission. At that time my wife and I were fervent Baptists, and I was encouraged by our then Baptist minister to embark on a course of study. And little did I know that I would be finishing up, completing a diploma of theology. It was really a quirk of fate that took me into the mission. I had been interviewed for the Baptist Union as a minister, and at that time I was advised to go to university. I was having a wife and 2 children. That of course was quite a heavy and high mountain to climb again. So I came into the mission and went to Lowestoft. Lowestoft is a lovely place. It brings back many memories to the local people of the herring fishing. They have great memories of the herring fishing boats and the herring gutting quines, as we would say, and also they have great memories of the revival. They hold the Scottish people in very high esteem, and I thought really I was amongst friends when I went there to start my mission career. We was there for nearly 2 years. We had just opened up what we call a hostel for young men that were from troubled backgrounds. And that was a really interesting aspect of the mission work. These were young men that had no families. Most of them came from Bostrels, and some of them came from broken homes. And it was a real challenge to really be a father figure to these folks. We had a big residential centre there, one at Waveney Road and also one at Denmark Road. It was an aspect of the fishing that I had never seen before. I'd never seen that type of fisherman. But really the folk themselves were wonderful people, and we fell in love with the folks at Lowestoft. I was just settling down and thought that if we get a few years here, then it really would be awful nice. Then I had word from the mission to transfer to Fleetwood, another part of the country, another community, a different community from the first community we left in Lowestoft. But nevertheless, there were fishing people, and we're all one big family, no matter where we come from. Once we settled in and applied ourselves to the work of the mission in Fleetwood, we found that these Fleetwood people had much of the same desires and aspirations as we have ourselves in Scotland. We found that the family unit really was very important to them, and their way of life as fishing people was important to them. Although there's a different slant in the fishing there, most of them fished out as Iceland and to Faroe. But the friends that we made then, are still our friends now, and that's nearly 23 years ago. And we still meet the same fishermen as we met in Fleetwood, which goes to show that the fishing family is really tight and close, and the bond made initially is a bond that lasts really all your life. Again, we was just settling down, which really has been the story of my life, because I have enjoyed and we have been made very much at home everywhere we've been. And then we got news that we were going to Shetland. I can remember very clearly the Shetland experience, as I would like to call it. We arrived there with 2 young children, not knowing what we was going to be let in for. That was the first centre that I was put in charge of the work. We came to Shetland, and it was still unspoilt then. The oil boom had not started, and I was glad in many ways that we went to Shetland at that time, because we saw it through the eyes of the traditional Shetlander. They are very proud of their Shetland Isles, and they've every reason to be proud, because they have a way of life that we had left in Lossie. It is very near and dear to our hearts. We are, as fishing people, probably proud people, but we're clannish people as well. And I say this not in a way that would be a proud way, but in a way that's part of our life as well. The Shetlander lays great emphasis on the family unit. The family is very important to him, and the young people, the influence that they have on the young people as they hand down the tradition is of great importance to them. We was 3.5 years in Shetland. We have really special memories of Shetland because our third child, our daughter, was born in Shetland. So we have a big chunk and a reminder of the Shetland experience as a married couple. The fishermen themselves in Shetland are a wonderful race of men. They have traditionally had to work very, very hard. They have always been at the end of the queue when money provisions and grants have been dealt out. Because they've been an island, they've had to work exceptionally hard, probably twice as hard as us on the mainland. But the friendliness and the warmth of the people really compensates for anything else that an island presents itself with. They are deeply Christian people. They have a great balance in life. They have time for their families, time for their work, and also time for God. They're blessed that as an island they have prolific fish stocks round the island, and they're very intent that they look after these stocks because they see that in the years that lie ahead that these fish stocks could be exploited. The herring fishing when we first went to Shetland was on the last, I think it was the last year that the last of the drifters was finished, and that really was a sad day to see that chapter finishing. And then we went into the more prolific chapter of the great big purse seiner herring boats. And although we admire the great technology which we see in these boats and the great capabilities they have to catch huge masses of fish, it certainly destroyed a way of life that was really precious to the Shetland folk and indeed to the northeast folk. But of course, progress, we must give way to progress in our industry, and as an industry we've always been very, very quickly to capitalise on anything that would be to a benefit of what people. And of course these are great technological benefits, and they cut out the hard work of hauling and all the rest of things in bad weather. And so it has been a benefit to the communities, especially, as I say, to the Shetland folks. We was very fortunate when we went there as well that we saw all the islands linked by bridges, especially the island of Barra Isle. They linked the mainland to a little island called Tronda, and then from there to Barra Isle. And 90% of the island is fishing people, and they have a wonderful way of life. It would take me a long time to describe their way of life, but they have a way of life similar to our own in the northeast here. Just when we were settling down again,